talk about something a little insane that happens in the Genshin story. You're probably here because of the title, so obviously I'm not going to spoil it in the title or the thumbnail, so I'm going to give you a warning right now. Heavy spoilers. Heavy spoilers ahead. Let's strap in. So, to jump right into it, the big spoiler that I'm obviously talking about is the death of the character Signora. The harbinger of the Fatui, and right pain in our ass, is dead. So, I'm amazed by this. And mostly because it's a major factor into the game, and the story as a whole. I haven't seen many people talking about this, and so I wanted to make the video because it's incredible. In order to really get my stance on this and the reason I like this so much, we have to look at the beginning, essentially. All the way back with our adorable little man and god of air, Venti. And the day he got blindsided by a 6-foot-tall lady in heels and had his soul ripped out of him.
Should have held your tongue.
Essentially, that scene sets it up. The first harbinger we ever meet, with Venti getting his Gnosis stolen, is Signora. She is indomitable. We obviously are not strong enough to fight her. She blindsides us and is cocky as shit the entire time. And that sets up the character. Obviously, most people are probably very angry at this point at this character. We've come to know Venti, and we don't want this person to be hurting our little boy anymore. So, most people don't like her. But there would be a lot of people expecting, oh, okay, she's a heavily designed character. Of course we're going to be able to play as her at some point. And people got excited about the character. So you had people on the fence of like, I don't like her. You had people on the fence of, I want to play as her. And you had people in the middle who didn't care. Then you fast forward to Liyue, where the second harbinger we meet, Child, finally betrays us, stabs us in the back, and just overall is a dickhead the entire time. But not so much as Signora is. He's more, I would say, crazy than a bastard like Signora was. And so then we kind of deal with that problem. We beat him. We say, we're stronger than a harbinger. That's awesome. We head back to the bank to meet Zhongli. And there she is. Again. Signora. In all her bitchy glory. Trading away the Gnosis, Zhongli is talking to her about a contract that was made, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like she's stealing it from him. It's not like the same thing with Venti where she's kicking his ass and just taking it. No, it was a legitimate trade, and we as the players and the Traveler feel powerless. And the devs who made this obviously know that, so they gave her a lot of dialogue to be cocky, to talk down to us, to make us even more angry at this character and annoyed and wanting to just right then and there have another boss fight and kick her ass. But we know that she's stronger than us. We know that we can't just have a fight in the middle of the city over a contract that the god of contracts has made. So there's nothing we can do about it. So we can do nothing but watch her leave. And it was at that point that started my fascination with an idea. A single idea that I knew for a fact would never happen. The death of a Fatui Harbinger. I remember streaming that section and thinking to myself and saying out loud, the best thing they could do for this story would be to allow the Traveler to kill one of the Harbingers. Whether it be when we finally get to the ice area, and it's ages down the line, and they've built up all this animosity, and we finally get to kill them, or if we do it in a later story mission to set up for future things in the future. But at the end of the day, I want us to actually just kill one of the Harbingers. I think it would add to the story. I think it would add to the overall world building and the development of our character as a whole. But I knew that it wasn't going to happen. I knew for a fact that we would never be able to do that. Because, of course, a company's going to want to make money. Of course, a company is going to want to invest time and effort into a character and then sell them. Especially in a game like Genshin. In other single-player story games, sure, you play as one character, the villain's a villain, you kill the villain, it's whatever. But in Genshin, you can play as a lot of these well-designed characters. I mean, a lot of people are expecting to be able to play as the pharmacist guy when they eventually bring out Dendero. So, of course we'd play as Signora. Of course we would. So I never thought it would happen. I never thought we'd get that story impact, that catharsis of victory against Signora. I thought it would just be brushed aside as, haha, you beat me, but whatever, I'm gonna leave now. And that brings us into what the Traveler itself would do. The Traveler is different to a lot of other protagonists. The Traveler is from another dimension, or world, as they put it, entirely. Probably had many adventures. I just traveled around, beating the shit out of people, world hopping to world hopping with his sister, or her brother. And they're not afraid to kill. Hilichurls, Fatui agents, monsters, all die. You all kill them. And the only real people they don't kill, like town guards and, the treasure hoarders. So it makes sense for our character to, when faced with this threat, this anger that they built up towards a character like the Fatui agents and the Harbingers, that they would just run their sword through it. But I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought we'd beat them and they'd be injured and run away, or something stupid like that. It was a thought in my head that I thought would be amazing if they did it, but never expected it to happen. Fast forward to the scene in 2.1's update, with the Traveler finally fighting Signora. We go through this entire story of Inazuma and the downfall and the decline, and the Fatui are essentially responsible for it. And we approach Signora in front of the Raiden Shogun and challenge her to a duel. And it was at this point, the dialogue for this scene made me hopeful, but at the same time would disappoint me. Signora says, along the lines, not an exact quote, but essentially that if we accept this duel, the loser will die. It's a duel to the death. Now, of course, I sat there, I think I even said at one point on my stream, there's no way this is going to happen. Either we're going to get beaten in some stupid cutscene and we're going to get rescued by someone, or we're going to beat her and she's going to crawl away and we're going to spare her. There's no way she actually dies. Not a chance. Boy, was I wrong. Because the next scene after you beat her, directly after, there's no beating around the bush. The Traveler has her on the ground. She's beaten. She's shocked and stunned at our strength. Groveling, even. The Traveler looks to even turn around like he's going to finish her. Or she is going to finish her, depending on what you play. And only is stopped by the Shogun approaching. The Shogun walks up. You think, alright, cool. We're going to fight the Shogun now. Let's do this. That's how Signora's going to escape. The Shogun's going to fight us, Signora's going to fuck off while we're doing that, alright? But no. She walks straight past the Traveler. Walks straight up to Signora without saying a word. Sword drawn. Signora starts losing it. Starts groveling and then saying, you can't do this. I order you to stand down. You can't do it. And in what I can describe only as some shit out of Dragon Ball Z, the Shogun basically decapitates Signora. She erupts in a burst of lightning energy and then turns to dust. Now, obviously, in a more mature rated game, they might actually show a corpse, head split, something, but in a lot of times when something dies in Genshin, it just turns to dust. And that's what happened to Signora. Just embers and dust. And to say that I freaked out when this happened would be an understatement. Oh! Wait, is she fucking dead? Yo! Is she fucking dead? I lost my mind when this happened. I was blown away by this. I never thought they'd do it. I literally have spent half of this video so far, or the majority of it, saying that I never thought they would do this. That we'd never get this kind of impact, that we'd never have this kind of story implication happen, because surely they're going to buy the character. People want to play the character. And then it happens. And I spent the rest of the story going, oh, we're going to see Signora again. She's going to come back somehow. It's going to be some dream sequence or something the Shogun did to us. And I was wrong. I finished the story. I played the Raiden Shogun story quest. And not once did they mention her being alive. They mention us defeating her. Everyone talks about it. The Shrine Maiden, the Raiden Shogun herself, a couple of your companions, they all mentioned that you beat a Harbinger. But no mention of her escaping or teleporting away or anything. It was just, she's dead. And that finally sunk in. I finally started thinking about what they can do now. How now it's like we killed the Ice God's, one Ice God's children. How the other Fatui agents are going to react to this. How we'll meet Scaramouche in the future, or maybe even have some interaction with Child and be like, wait, you killed Signora? That's insane. And now I'm excited. Now I'm so happy about this, because I predicted something, or well, not so much predicted, but thought of something, and then it came true. It's like everything that I wanted from the Fatui Harbingers and the fight with them, they just reached into my head and pulled it out and put it in the game. So this entire update, first off, has been incredible for me. 10 out of 10. I loved this update. But the future of the story for Genshin is what excites me the most. That we can have interactions with other Harbingers now that are less about them being cocky about how weak we are and more along the lines of, you killed one of the Harbingers. Now you're a threat to us, not just a nuisance. And I'm so excited for that. Going forward, though, if they do decide to bring her back in some way for the players to play as her, for the people who wanted that character and now can't, I would say a resurrection option would be their best. Not an option of you never killed her, or she teleported away, or it was a clone or something. I want the Ice God to be powerful. We all do. We all can assume it's probably the end game. It's probably the last region they'll release, and it's the final kind of boss, I would assume, aside from maybe the Cube God. And I would be okay with us getting there, and we see some construct or some being that resembles Signora, that is Signora's soul resurrected in a new form of some kind, maybe made of ice or something like that. That would be fine with me, but it would take away from the scene of her death if it was just she never died to begin with. So I really hope they don't do that if they do decide to bring her back. If she's gone for good, count me surprised. I will be very, very surprised by this. But I hope she is, in all honesty. Because that's an impact to a story. That's something I didn't expect from a free-to-play game. The entire final part of the story for this update was something that blew me away. Something that shouldn't be in a free-to-play game. It's incredible. And everyone should go play it if you're here just looking for spoilers and you haven't played it yet. It's amazing. So yeah, that's really all I have to say, is just the setup for this. I thought I was just gonna be sad about, of we're never gonna finish off these Harbingers, and I was wrong. And boy am I happy to be wrong about that. because this is everything I wanted. And going forward, there might be other Harbingers now that we can consider. What if we're going to kill these other Harbingers? What Harbingers are we going to be able to play as? What Harbingers are we going to just murder? It's an incredible prospect to think about, and I can't believe I'm getting this excited over Genshin's story. This game's amazing as far as I'm concerned, and I can't wait to see what they do next. This video has been a lot of fun to make and just think about, and I hope to hear your comments down below about what you think. If you liked the fact that she's dead, or that she isn't dead, if you were someone who's looking forward to playing as her, and you're saving up all your Primo gems, waiting for her to come out, I'd love to hear. But this is the end of the video. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope to see you next time. There's links in the description to my Discord and to my stream, and I hope to see you around.